welcome back to the Springboard Plancha Podcast Monday Night Raw edition, and welcome back to the show. Tribal Cheese making his triumphant return here since going on 2 weeks, huh? Took a little vacation, feeling a little better. You came back for like the best episode of Raw ever. How are we doing today, Cheese? You doing all right?
Yeah, been a rough week. Been a rough couple of days. Cowboys took a beat down.
Did they?
R-Truth took a beat down, so hasn't been the best couple of days. But I'm here. Let's do it. I'm excited. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. And of course, as always, we also have Mr. Zero. How are you doing today, Mr. Zero?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, bringing the high energy as usual to
nothing changed.
No, nothing really changed while you were gone. Same old, Mr. Zero, his usual self, and me trying to look at these shows and just waiting so that we can get to the Royal Rumble. And that's pretty much what this Raw was. Biggest thing on this show was the main event between Seth Rollins and Jinder Mahal, something that's been promoted for the last over the last week since it was announced it was going to happen, whether it be on social media or on TV. And we got this match, and it was a match. Whether you wanted Jinder to win or not, I guess is y'all's opinion. But it was just your typical Seth Rollins World Heavyweight Championship match, a rinse and repeat for me. I feel like the only difference was that you had Jinder Mahal's faction who made their triumphant return. What's their names? The Punjabi Express. I don't remember their name.
Indashir.
Indashir. I'm gonna go with the Punjabi Express. Sounds a lot more. Sounds a lot better. Looks good. It looks better on a T-shirt. But yeah, that was the only difference here. I mean, what do you got to do to beat Seth Rollins? He gets hit with the Money in the Bank briefcase in the face, takes a finisher, and still kicks out. So he's the new. I guess he's Raw's Roman Reigns. You just can't beat the guy no matter what. So I don't know what it's going to take. It's going to take a CM Punk or something like that to beat Seth, or probably not. Seth is probably just going to hold on to this title also for like 5 years, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it was a match. It was decent enough, and comeback stomp for the win. Another failed potential cash in, even though he didn't necessarily cash in this time. It was still failed for Damian Priest to be out there and not cash in this Money in the Bank, and I just don't know where we go with that. But that was your main event for the show, and Seth Rollins is still your World Heavyweight Champion, which I guess he's just going to be that until WrestleMania. But, well, did it live up to all the hype and the promotion? I don't think so, but Seth Rollins is still your World Heavyweight Champion. Tell me what you got, Mr. Zero. You got something to say.
Let me tell you something. These Seth Rollins matches, they're pretty good here and there. They give you some false finishes. I kind of like it, but it's kind of like you said, rinse and repeat with Seth Rollins. I think 2 weeks ago it was kind of the same thing where Drew McIntyre had it with the Claymore kick, and dummy Drew McIntyre put Seth Rollins' leg on the rope, and this week you get Jinder Mahal with the Khalees, I believe it's called.
The Khalees.
And
yeah, might as well. I think it's
Colossus?
like the Colossus or whatever. Yeah,
the Colossus. Yeah,
the Colossus.
Yeah, you get him hitting the Colossus and
the Punjab slam.
1-2 and no go. I mean, I'm really kind of hoping lately for a new champion so we can get some new storylines and new stuff. Because if Seth Rollins is going to be defending every 2 weeks, it kind of gets a little dry here and there, especially if that's the only match maybe you're looking forward to. Besides R-Truth, obviously, on Monday Night Raw, but overall it was a great match. I think the hodgepodge, to coin your line, Johnny T.
Oh, thank you.
I I think the hodgepodge of the match where he is Damian Priest gonna cash in, and then Drew McIntyre comes in. We could have done without it. Just had a straight on match between Jinder Mahal and Seth Rollins. I think it would have made the match a little more interesting. They're just kind of hyping up the match for next week between the two. Um, could have been without it. So um, overall, it was a pretty good match. I give it a B. I'll give it a B. Nothing too exciting, but
Yeah.
you had some shenanigans at the end. You know, could have went either way, I guess.
Yep. I mean, that's pretty much what it was. It was your typical Seth Rollins match, rinse and repeat, and then we move on to the next thing, I guess. So, what you got, Cheese?
Uh, you said something earlier and it caught my mind. You said, "What's it gonna take to get this championship out of Seth
Yeah.
Rollins' hands?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think what it's gonna take is Seth is gonna beat Seth at this point in time. There's a really big downside to being a fighting champion, a workhorse champion. I don't know if you guys caught this, and I wouldn't be surprised if this breaks news in a few hours. But it looked like Seth hurt his knee at the very end of the match. He was hopping around. He actually couldn't stand up right away. He told the ref like no, like he couldn't get up. Then when he did get up, he was hopping on his leg, and he looked kind of visibly like distressed. And that's what it's gonna take. That's what it's gonna take. That's what's gonna get the belt. Seth is gonna beat himself because he is not spacing out his matches. He is a workhorse. He's having, like you said, and then it's not even doing him any favors, right? If he's beating somebody every couple of weeks or every week, almost it feels like now, he has a match and he defends his title every week. It gets a little stale because he doesn't have any real storylines, right? There's kind of this background. Well, they're not even really pushing the CM Punk storyline right now. So it's just, I don't care. I'll take all comers. That's great, but Seth's going to get himself hurt before Mania. And if he did, in fact, hurt his knee tonight, now look at what we're looking at. We're looking at a huge pivot. We're looking at a huge change in maybe the match that we all wanted, right? Was CM Punk versus Seth. If that's the route where we're going to go, I really think that WWE needs to think twice about how they're using him, because they're putting him into matches and it's documented. He has some lower back issues. There's a couple of spots where he took some pretty bad bumps. I think when he fell out of the ring, he took a pretty bad bump on the side of the ring, the mat, I guess you can say. And it looked like it was a good little bump to his lower back. So he started, holding on to that. He's just taking too many matches, too many bumps. He's not getting any younger. At this rate that we're going, Seth isn't going to lose the belt. He's going to end up relinquishing it because of an injury. That's not to take away anything from like their match tonight. Seth's match was great. I did think it was pretty decent storytelling overall. I thought that they were trying to, to do that reminiscent, like they try to recreate the way Jinder beat Randy, and it just didn't work this time. So that was cool. And kudos to Jinder because he actually can work a pretty good match. So he looks good. I guess he's way less roided out, than he used to be. So he looks a little bit more natural. Indashir didn't do too much, although I will say those guys look really imposing. So I'm excited to see like what they're gonna do, because the last time we didn't see them since that gauntlet match. I am excited to see. I think what I was excited about for tonight is there's like a lot of new talent that I'm really looking forward to seeing, like some really little weird matches going forward in the future, and we don't have to rely on Seth Rollins like wrestling every single night. I think he can get away with. I mean, shoot, dude. Like when you think about it, like Cody's not wrestling every single night. CM Punk hasn't even touched a match yet, and not from a live performance. I guess you can say he's done a live show, but he hasn't done like an and then
TV.
Anyways, he hasn't done TV matches yet, right?
Yes.
So all these guys are learning. Roman is, they talk a lot of shit about him too, but they're all spacing it out, and it's because of longevity. At this rate, we're not going to get Seth Rollins for like 5 years, right? We're not going to get him for that long because he's going to hurt himself at this rate. He's wrestling too many matches, and he's doing live shows on top of everything we see, on TV. So
he's already.
I don't know what do you guys thoughts on like did you guys spot that injury or
no? Yeah, I was gonna piggyback off of that, and say, yes, I did see that injury, and or whether it was worked or shooted. Either way, this whole story is obviously playing into the injury history of Seth Rollins, right? He's injury prone. He's been a fighting champion for the past year, but it's also come at the cost of his body, right? That's kind of the story here. And how long can his body go? Whether this was he actually tweaked it, or it was just kind of like he played into it. Either way, we all know his history. We all know Seth Rollins' history. It's not the first time. It wouldn't be the first time that an injury takes him out of anything. He missed one WrestleMania because of an injury. He almost missed another one because of an injury. And, and he's not any younger. He's older. And the way that his wrestling style is that, well, it just kind of promotes that kind of stuff from time to time. Which is why I think right now, like you said, is probably now the best time, at least if your plan is to have him in one of the biggest programs in WrestleMania in the past couple of years, right? If you're going to want him to be there, I think you have to not necessarily shelve him, but you may need to kind of put the brakes on him for a little bit. Put some bubble wrap all over him because you need him for WrestleMania season. You don't need him for Monday Night Raw next week in Timbuktu, Mississippi, or whatever it's going to be. And I don't know where next week's show is going to be. But you don't need him for that, right? You need him for WrestleMania. Little Rock was tonight. I don't know where next week's is at. But but you don't need him for that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need him for those shows anymore, or at least to wrestle, right? Like, you don't need him to put on a 20-minute match on any of these random ass from the Monday Night Raws before WrestleMania. You need him for WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. If you can get him there, then after that, you can give him his break, or you can give him his time off or whatever, right? If he needs it for recovery and all that. But at the rate that he's going, you're right. Like, at some point, something's going to happen, and it's going to derail this whole thing. And it's going to be very, very unfortunate. I hope it doesn't happen, because I really want to see where they're going to go with him with the world title. I think we all know where it's going, but I want to see it, right? And I don't want an injury to have to be like, well, we're going to have to postpone it till next year now because he can't make it to WrestleMania. It's like, no. And like you said, I don't want to see Seth Rollins hand off the title. I want to see him lose it, You know what I mean? Like, not to say that I don't, but you know what I mean? Whoever the next champion is going to be, I want to see him get, like, in a loss or whatever, right? Whoever's going to take it from him, take the next step on that whole thing. That's where I think taking the title off of him will work sooner than later, because that way you don't have to put all the pressure on him to carry this, because that title is become to put all the pressure on that title because of the other titles that aren't defended every month. So you needed to make this one the one that you put on TV constantly. And you gave it to the guy, although it was the right guy to give it to at the beginning, you gave it to the guy that has not the best track record for longevity when it comes to his own body. And now you were sitting here, 7-8 months since he won it, maybe a little bit less, but somewhere around there, right? And you're just hoping that he can hold on to it for another 3 months. And then how much longer do you want him to hold it on to? Because the inevitable is going to happen. This guy's going to get hurt, right? I mean, so I guess it remains to be seen. So I'm with you there. Like, I'm worried for him because I want to see him have a great program at WrestleMania. I think he deserves it after this title reign. But if he can't make it there because of an injury, I don't know how much of it is his fault and how much of it is the WWE's fault for pushing this title like this with him as the guy that they're doing it with. I don't mind this title. I don't mind this title being defended. Yeah.
Gunther is way younger, and he's not even wrestling as many matches. How crazy is that?
Yeah, I mean, this is all just because of, like, what I said. The only reason that this is happening like this is because that's what they built this title for, to be a title they can put on TV every other week or wherever, more often than they can the other ones, because you can't have two guys having the world championships that just don't show up every week, right? What's the point of any of your world titles then at that point? At least one of them should be on TV. But my point being is that I don't know if that one title, if you're going to showcase it like that, I don't know if you should have the guy that has injury issues as the guy that's going to hold that fort down, because eventually he's going to break down. And I don't want it to happen. Well, none of us do. But you just every time you see him in the ring, you're just hoping and praying, dude. Hold out, hold out, hold out to WrestleMania, dude. Like, I hope you get out of this clean. And when you see stuff like that, where you see him like grabbing a knee or tweaking something, you're like, oh shit. Whew, let's just hope that's not something bad, right? And I guess we'll find out. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's just something he just tweaked or played into it to make it a part of the show. I guess we'll find out in the next couple of days. But got anything else to say on that? You got anything you want to say on that, Zero? It looked like you wanted to.
Tell you something, Johnny T and Mr. Cheese.
There he
is. We could be looking at the last great run of Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins in the WWE. Both reigns are, could potentially be coming to an end soon.
Pun intended.
One, because Seth Rollins and his injury history, like we've mentioned, and Roman Reigns. I think he's he obviously takes hiatuses, for an extended period for a reason. I do believe. If not, I believe he'd be at least defending it every pay-per-view or every other pay-per-view, not just the big pay-per-views. And Seth Rollins, as great as he's been in this run, he's just tearing up his body. So that's why I believe this could be Seth Rollins' last great title run in the WWE. After this, who knows what happens after he drops the title? If he becomes just maybe like Shawn Michaels was in his later career, where he's just putting on great matches, and just trying to make it to the end.
Yeah, that's a great point. I do know that, or I don't want to say I know everything, but I feel like I heard that that Seth Rollins is on the last year of his current deal, I think. And so I would imagine that he's not going anywhere. He's going to renegotiate a new deal, but I wouldn't be surprised if he renegotiated it like Roman did with his deal, where he only has to work X amount of dates and he can spend a lot more time at home. I mean, he's got a younger kid, spend more time with his baby girl and less time putting his body into just massive pain all the time. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we're not too far away from that. Like you said, like this is the last true golden run for this guy too. And then you just kind of take it from there. But at some point he's going to have to lose this title. And I just hope that he loses it and doesn't have to hand it off because he got hurt or something like that, because he ran out of gas. Like I hope not. So, but yeah, hopefully Seth is okay. We'll find out next week what direction we're going to keep going with the world title as we go into Royal Rumble. So we are about less than 2 weeks away from the Royal Rumble. And the show gave us a little bit more of direction on to what kind of things we might be able to expect at the Royal Rumble. And it started off with Cody Rhodes giving the Little Rock, Arkansas crowd what they wanted, which was all of the pyro as usual, and all of the pomp and circumstance that Cody Rhodes brings to the ring whenever he comes in with his entrance. Came out in his suit tonight, looking mighty dapper and whatnot, and said got about halfway into his usual Cody promo, talking about the Royal Rumble and finishing his story and whatnot, before Drew McIntyre, of all people, is the one that interrupts him in this one. And for the second week in a row, I feel like Drew was hot, was fire in his promo, regardless of how we all feel about whether or not he should, what direction he's going in as far as the character is concerned. But as far as these one-on-one promos that he's having with these guys, he's holding his own. He had a lot more things to say than Cody did for a while there in that promo. And I wouldn't mind if I saw Cody versus Drew at some point. I think you just didn't want to. That could be a a Raw match before, leading up to WrestleMania or something like that. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I did like that that Drew called, what did he call Cody? He's a word of the day. He's a word of the day toilet paper. Because he likes to say elegant words, and he's a walking thesaurus kind of thing. I kind of laughed at that when I heard word of the day toilet paper. I was like, oh my god, that's hilarious. Like, that's funny. But talked a little bit about their past and whatnot, and hopefully this leads to a match between the two. I'd like to see that. And I wouldn't be surprised. I think, like I said, like me and you were talking about Zero last week. I think if these two guys here are not the last two guys in the Rumble, they're at least a part of that. I guess those four guys that those final four in that match. I feel like you wouldn't do this promo. You wouldn't put this like this out there if these two guys weren't going to be two of the last guys or two of the last of the four guys or whatever. In that match, and it'll be interesting to see if one of them eliminates the other. Who is it? And if we get a program between the two at some point. A little bit too on this is that what's very interesting about this one is that could this potentially be where you're headed? I'm talking way ahead here, but could this potentially be where you end up heading for WrestleMania because of all of everything else going on? We did, it wasn't announced, but everybody on the Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that Roman Reigns is not scheduled to appear in Perth for Elimination Chamber. So at this point, you can throw out The Rock versus Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber if they're going to do that. So if you're going to have The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, well, the question is, what do we do with Cody Rhodes? Because obviously he's not going to be able to finish his story, right? So where do you put Cody in that? Could Cody and Drew be a program? Could Cody and Randy be a program? Does Randy beat Roman at the Rumble? But either way, this promo sets up something between the two down the line. I guess we'll just have to find out where that happens. But good promo by both guys. I think Drew, if we're picking a winner of the promo, I pick Drew. I think Drew won this promo tonight. What do you think, Mr. Zero? Who won the promo battle between the American Nightmare and what do you like to call him, the crybaby Drew McIntyre?
Let me tell you something, Johnny T. I really did like this promo tonight. Drew McIntyre delivered finally on a good promo. You said it's been 2 weeks in a row. I can agree with you on that. Drew McIntyre had some things to say about how their careers were the same. They've had similar careers. They're the same age. Although Drew McIntyre looks a little older, if we can all agree. But yeah, I liked how Cody. I liked how Cody ended. He said, "We're nothing alike. I make the best of my opportunities. I'm not complaining or finding a reason to complain about my opportunities." And then he had to throw in the little who won the last match between us before we came here and da 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 da. So if we're looking for a winner, I gotta say the guy that got the last word is the winner. But Drew McIntyre did deliver one hell of a promo. This was a great promo to start the show, and I'm looking forward to seeing them wrestle after the Royal Rumble. I believe we will see a match between the two.
Sounds good. What you got, Tribal? Jeez.
I'm gonna just agree with you guys for disagreement's sake, since that's what I do. But no, Drew never does bad promos. I think we've kind of all agreed upon that for a long time. Problem is, I just hate what he says. I don't ever think that Drew has had a bad promo. He always delivers really, really good promos. But then he proceeds to give Cody career advice, and I'm just like, dude, no. This is such a bad like, your career is spiraling, and you're doing your customary crybaby. Like, if Cody does his customary Cody promo, then Drew does his customary crybaby promo. He starts talking about the past. He starts talking about, where he was, and he was supposed to be a champion, and Damian Priest screwed him, and da 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 da. All these stupid things that we just like Seth's already told him, stop talking about this shit, right? Cody has to tell him again, the difference between us is that I don't complain like you do, right? I relish everything. All this. I love my second chance. You just complain about everything. I mean, how much more do we have to hear these? I mean, I don't even know. Like, I still don't know how to get a read on Drew as far as like whether he's a good guy, bad guy. Because sometimes like it always comes from like a bittersweet place. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like Drew's always coming from like a super bittersweet place. I did think that it was kind of I don't know if this was like a personal jab, but he did say like Cody was a kiss ass, and I was like, ouch, dude. Like I don't know if that was like damn, like did you does he kiss Triple H's ass or what, or like I don't know. Drew's still in that spot. I don't think that this was much more to do than just the fact that they both want to win at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's all it was, right? Mm-hmm. Like I don't even think we're gonna get a match from them. It's just, Cody saying, I'm the better man right now. Drew saying, I still need it. I still want it. Mm-hmm. We were the same, or I don't know, something. Who cares, right? I guess that's pretty much it. I don't read too much into this one, except that I just don't like Drew's where he's coming from. Not that he has Drew's like he can really talk the mic off. I thought like the whole toilet paper thing was really clever too. Like he never has a bad promo. He's not. It's just what he's saying is just annoying, I think, in general, or it's just a pity party every single time. And I'm like, dude, I want to like Drew. I really do want to like him, and it's hard to like him with some of the things that he says. It's like that friend you have that like, or like doesn't never take responsibility, and they're just like, no, my life sucks because of everybody else. Like, no, dude.
No, yeah.
Your life is what you make of it, right? So it's kind of like that.
Don't be airing my dirty laundry.
It's Drew's pity party. That's what it comes out. It's Drew's pity. It's Drew's pity party. What's he gonna? What's he gonna ask for pity tonight? Even though he doesn't ask for it directly, it's indirect pity. That's kind of what it is. And I guess we'll just have to see what they do with it. The interesting part is that I just don't know what direction they're going to go with him going forward, as to whether or not because it looks like they still want him to be like not full heel, kind of still babyface, as evident by his matchup next week that's coming up. That doesn't sound like a heel move, in my opinion. But especially what he did in the main event when we talked about too, that's not necessarily a heel move. That's a face move, right? Inadvertently helping Seth Rollins win that match, even though wasn't necessarily his intention. But you know what I mean. But what's up, Mr. Zero?
Johnny T, I'm gonna disagree with you on the match for next week. We got heel Drew McIntyre against face Damian Priest with R-Truth in his corner.
If they wanted to do anything, I'm gonna tell you this. I would not be surprised in the least if next week they decided to do what they call in the business I can't remember the proper, but it's like
the Money in the Bank.
But it's like the 50-50. Basically, the 180. That's not
the double turn.
Double turn. Thank you. The double turn next week with Drew turning full heel and Damian Priest turning face. It's not going to happen, but it would be kind of funny if it did, because as each week goes along, we get more and more of this R-Truth and Judgment Day pairing, which has just been straight gold all the way to the bank, evidently, because the Judgment Day's two top T-shirts on WWE Shop over the last 7 days were both of R-Truth's ideas from last week's promo that got turned into T-shirts. He had the nameless T-shirt now with R-Truth added on the T-shirt, like officially printed on there, and the other shirt, which was the live love, what was it, the love laugh or love Live, Laugh shirt with Judgment Day.
Laugh,
Right?
love.
Yeah, there you go. Laugh, Love, Live, or whatever, right there on the center. And that shirt was also produced pretty quickly after last week's segment. And those are their two top selling T-shirts behind, in front of CM Punk. And that's just amazing. That just shows the brilliance of R-Truth. And you had R-Truth bootlegging those T-shirts in the backstage area with this little box and this little box of T-shirts. Damian Priest confronts him about what the hell is he doing, and the things R-Truth says during these segments are just amazing, man. And he pulls out a wad of cash to give Damian Priest his cut of the money, of the bootleg money. Says all of Judgment Day will also be getting their cuts of the T-shirts. One of y'all need to help me out on this because I can't believe I forgot it already. But he said R-Truth said something to Damian Priest during this little segment that almost made him like completely lose it. And it made
the Tommy Nick Mysterio.
The Tom and Nick. Yes, thank you. It was. I also have
sent you that shirt.
I also have Tom and Nick's. Tom and Nick's cut. And he says, I haven't heard from Nick. I can't find him on Facebook. And that's what almost made Damian Priest laugh. Made me laugh too. It's all good stuff, man. And Damian Priest looked reluctant at the beginning, but when he got his wad of cash, he was like, okay, we could do this. But we also, I think this was already announced last week, but later on in the show, we're going to get the Awesome Truth versus Damian Priest and Finn Balor. And then we end this segment with Damian Priest telling R-Truth that he will not be tagging in this match. And R-Truth is here giving him the, giving him the winky wink face. And it just, some of the great things coming out of this R-Truth and Judgment Day thing. This being also like what takes up different segments of the show is also great. It's just good stuff all the way around. I hope it never ends because it's just funny stuff. I love it. And then with that, like you said, Tribal Cheese, WWE almost right away within the next hour releases the newest T-shirt from the Judgment Day, the Tom and Nick Mysterio T-shirt.
I mean, Nick Mysterio. Sure.
Tom and Nick Mysterio T-shirt, man. Good Lord. What a piece of work this whole thing is. It's amazing. What do y'all got?
Shirts every week.
Go ahead, Cheese. Tell me what you got on all this. Or what's your thoughts on all this? Since I know you didn't get to touch on last week's thing. So if you want to as well, just this whole thing as it's all been leading up, feel free to talk about that too if you want.
I mean, I can't say much more than like I said, R-Truth is creating T-shirts every week now. It seems like he's creating viral moments. For the WWE Universe every single week. I mean, he's a cash cow right now, right? Like
literally, yeah.
He's really keeping Judgment Day. I feel like he's keeping Judgment Day hot, even though because they're losing all the time. Like I was just like thinking earlier, like how many damn matches in a row have they lost already? Like starting all the way back, I guess at Survivor Series, and then they just kept losing. I mean, they're losing. They lost tonight. Dom and JD are just not a very successful tag team and by any stretch of the imagination. So what is keeping them relevant other than just Rhea Ripley? I mean, obviously, like, they're relevant people, but
I got you.
Keeping them in the storyline, right? Keeping them fresh is R-Truth right now. So I don't know. I love seeing him out there. I do think that, I got a weird feeling today that it was like it's coming to an end, just based off the way like that match kind of got watched. So
we'll get to
I was like a little sad about that, but I guess we'll talk about that.
We'll
talk about that when we get to that part. But yeah, I mean, what can you say about R-Truth? He's a beautiful person, man. He's touches the hearts and souls of the WWE Universe, and it's awesome to watch. It's awesome to behold.
Yeah.
I don't even know how he does it, dude. Like, how does he one up himself? Every single week. Like, how hard is that, And all you have to do is just be confused. Just be so confused about, like what are you talking about,
Like, just so oblivious to everything. That's his character. Like, he's just so oblivious
Tommy
to
Nick,
it all.
like, really? Like,
Tom and Nick who thinks that Tom and Nick Mysterio?
So
Oh my god, that's just good stuff, man. It's really,
just good
really
stuff.
good stuff. Got anything, Mr. Zero, on our truths, and are you gonna be buying those T-shirts? I am.
I mean, every 2 weeks we get a new shirt, so I don't want to get a shirt and it goes out of style. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
But yeah, man. I mean, our truth is golden, man, and I will touch on it later. But like the cheese himself said, yeah, I got a bad feeling this is coming to an end. But
Yeah, yeah,
I hope it doesn't. I hope it comes to an end, but it's a happy ending. But it doesn't
yeah.
kind of seem to be going that way. We'll see.
We'll
We'll
see
touch on
how
it
it
in a
goes.
little bit.
Well, we continue still on the Judgment Day as the next thing that happens is our first match of the night, which is a tag team match between DIY and Dominic and JD. Uh, you know, Tom showed up, but Nick didn't show up for this match, so it's gonna be Tom and JD only. No R-Truth or nobody like that on the sides for them. It was just a straight up 2-on-2. No shenanigans here. I do always love what we talked about it last week too. Love to see DIY. Love to see what they're doing with them. They're giving them an opportunity here to push them up the ranks in the tag team division. The Little Rock, Arkansas crowd was pretty hot for Johnny Gargano. Got a couple of good Johnny wrestling chants there. These two guys, just worked very, very well together. It seems like they don't miss a beat. They haven't missed a beat since their time away from each other, back in the NXT days and whatnot. Like, they don't miss a beat with each other. Last week was a little bit like, got a little bit of snippets of what they can do together. This week you got a lot more, I feel. And they were giving a lot of time, even though we did get about 3 different fucking commercial breaks during this match. They still gave these 4 guys a lot of time to work here. And at this point, it's like you were saying, Cheese, that Tom and JD are like they're the jobbers of Judgment Day. That's what they're there to do. They're there to job. And that's not. I don't want to say that as like a negative. Like, they're not bad. They're good at what they do. They're just good jobbers. That's what they do.
Doesn't matter if they lose.
Like, they're good jobbers. That's what they're there to do. So they do. It's not that they do. It's not that they're terrible or anything. It's just that's their job, right? That's what they do. So even though we get all these commercial breaks, still great match altogether. A couple good high spots. I do love the. I always love the spear through the ropes that Johnny Gargano does. That's always a really, really cool looking move. We got a couple of "This is awesome" chants towards the end towards the final parts of this match, rightfully so, because this was probably the best match of the night. And we get the ending with the meet in the middle. I wouldn't mind seeing them win the tag team titles if that's what.
You have a glitch in the Matrix real quick.
Yeah. We did. I did. I saw a notification come out, and it was a little concerning, but I think we're still okay. I think we're still live. We're still good, right? We're still good, right? We didn't disconnect. I saw something that scared the shit out of me. I was like, "Whoa, no!" I was like, "Okay, never mind. We're good."
Just keep
Damn,
going,
man. It's like, yeah. Well, I don't want to talk to nobody, I'm sitting here to talk to nobody. I want to sit and talk to all
won't
of
be
our
like the
beautiful
first time. So.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, so yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing DIY win the tag team titles. That's who's going to end up taking it off of the Judgment Day. But good showing for DIY. They win. And I'm looking forward to see what they do with that one. Whenever that time comes, I'm here for it. During this match, we also did get the unfortunate sign of the night, which was the sign that was right there in row number 2, and it said the Cowboys lost. LOL. Oh, sad day. But he was telling the truth, and they had another guy and then like a couple of seats away from him that had a sign that says "I shoveled my way here." So hope everyone that's dealing with the winter freeze and whatnot is being safe. And if you did shovel your way to get to Raw, then I hope you enjoyed your night. But what do you got, Tribal Cheese, on this DIY and Tom and JD match?
So I completely agree. This probably was match of the night. I thought it was a really good match. All the way around, super exciting, even with the commercials, right? Because probably half the match we didn't even get to see because there was like 3 or 4 commercials during the match. But what we did get to see was awesome. I think that's like, can't really argue with that. Can we talk really quick about how good JD is? He gets the majority of work tonight, and as I'm watching JD McDonough, I'm just like, dude, wow, he's a really good worker. I mean, he sells everything really well. I know we talked like jobber, and it's not a derogatory word at all. It's definitely not. It's like you can throw him in there, and it doesn't matter whether he wins or loses. Half the time, it's JD's responsibility to go in there and get his ass kicked. Like that's what it is. That's his role right now, and he does it so well because
exactly.
Some people can't do it like that. Some people can't do it well. But I'm watching JD, and I'm like, dude, you got it, bro. Like you have almost like a veteran kind of presence on the floor. I mean, I would dare say like what I saw. I mean, yeah, Dom is comfortable in his skin, but it felt like JD was just like, I'm cool being in here like 90% of the time. And I can wrestle, and I can come up with different moves, and I can go from spot to spot, and I'm not in a rush. And everything's going to be clean, and I'm going to sell everything. I'm going to make the other team look really, really good. I'm going to make DIY look great. I'm going to throw a fit, make them look imposing.
Yeah.
And just JD just really surprised me over these last few weeks. I think everything he's touched so far, right? Even that RKO off the cell. Like, I mean, he sold it, right? Like that's not an easy spot by any stretch of the imagination, right? You could easily screw that up, and I don't think we've seen one botch from him. Like nothing that's been terrible, right? All his matches have been kind of memorable too. Like when R-Truth fell at him and beat him. So, I mean, he's even in the promo space, right?
Yeah.
He's doing well there.
No, yeah.
He still ain't even on the damn shirt, but like he may or may not be in Judgment Day, but geez, dude, like we gotta give JD some props. Man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's doing so good right now, and I'm really happy for the guy, and I'm excited for like what that could mean for him in the future because he's still young, and Lord knows like WWE needs these young guys to come in here and take the pressure off the backs of guys like Seth Rollins, guys that have been doing it for a while, and they're just as good to watch. I think I do think it is funny though that we find Dom in another tag team. Like that's just kind of like where he goes back to. He had like a small little singles run, but he's just back in a tag team. So Dom doing Dom things with his ugly ass boots, the ones I guess mommy gave him, his snow boots. I'm gonna say, but I mean, Dom is Dom, right? JD's JD. So I don't know. Overall, great match. DIY, they look solid. I think that given the right opponents, man, it's just crazy because like when I saw them wrestle AOP, that was like one of the best matches like I had seen. And it was because it was such a difference, right, between like they're so small and AOP is humongous. So I'm looking forward to seeing some more of that dynamic. So I hope that Finn Balor and Damian Priest work just as well as they continue to make their title run. So yeah, good stuff. Great match.
Oh yeah. And yeah, once again on Dom and on Tom and JD, they're good at what they do. They are great competitors. They're good at wrestling. So when we talk about it like that they're losing and that they're doing jobs and whatnot, it's not to say that that we don't think that they're good. We think that they're good. I mean, they're obviously really good at what they do. So yeah, just to clear that up for anybody that might have confusion on what we mean. We're not shitting on them at all. Well, you got Mr. Zero on this one.
Tell you something, boys. You know it's winter when Dominic Mysterio brings out the Ugg boots for a wrestling match. One thing I thought that was hilarious tonight was Barrett on commentary saying once JD and Dom get rolling, it's impossible to get them to stop. Or he said it's really hard to get them to stop. And I'm listening to him going, what the hell is he talking about? They haven't won a match in months. Anyway, you get to the match, and like you said, JD's one hell of a worker. Dominic, he's an up and coming heel. He's one of the most hated people in WWE right now, and then DIY strengthening their shot for the titles, and just a great match overall. I love it. But Wade Barrett needs to he needs to get his facts straight before
he was
throws one of those bombs out there.
Yep, he was blind. He was blind Barrett today, right?
More like blind Barrett.
Well, like blind Barrett out there, man. Come on, man. What are you
Zero
looking
was there.
at?
That's what he would have said.
What are you seeing? Oh my goodness. So yeah, we'll see how it goes with the tag team title scene. But it looks like, at least like we've said it for the last couple of weeks, they are finally developing this tag team division. They're solidifying it a little bit, and we're getting actual really good teams as contenders. So we'll see how it goes as this tag team division moves forward and whatnot. And of course, on the SmackDown side, just real quick, we got AOP back too now. So we're building up the tag team scene on both shows here. So hopefully that will be good in the development of that. And maybe at some point we'll have tag team champs on both shows instead of just one. But for now, we'll see where it goes. So then we go into match. Speaking of tag teams, we go into match number 2 of the night, which is Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. And it was kind of, for me, this was kind of neat to see back-to-back matches for the Way from back in the NXT days, and actually seeing both of the teams from the Way actually win. So, but anyways, it's just such a shame that Chelsea Green they don't do the entrance for her anymore, because we talked about it last week. I guess because Karen got mad about it, and so now we can't have fun. So, so Chelsea Green just gets announced as Chelsea Green, and that's it. Like, oh man, it's just so boring without it. Like, it's so lame. Like, we can't get it. But as far we get a new entrance for although I mean, I don't know if anybody really paid attention to Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae's entrance before, anyways. But we get a new entrance for them. They got a new theme song, which is pretty nice, not too bad. I think I need to hear more of it to get the full feel, but it had a nice, better feel than the old one they used to have, which was pretty just generic. But anyways, good showing for Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. They beat Chelsea Green and Piper Niven in not really a very memorable match here, but they win. The Way is on their way to the tag team titles on both sides of the ball there. So I don't know about that, but on the women's side, I don't know. Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae, I'm guessing at some point they'll get a tag team title shot, just because we're shuffling through contenders here for the Party Girls. So I guess at some point they'll get their shot. But they won. They beat Chelsea Green and Piper Niven here, and I guess which is what me and Mr. Zero were talking about last week too. I just think it's time for Chelsea Green to go on her own and start her singles run and see what they can do with that, because I think this team is dead in the water at this point. So yeah, that's what I got on that. What you got, Mr. Zero? Got anything to say about this awesome tag team match? 5 stars?
It was funny because they had that little promo for Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, and in the promo they're like, keep sleeping on us, and
oh, no.
or what the hell they say, don't sleep on us or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did through this match.
I knew you were going. I knew you were going that direction.
This match.
I knew you were going that direction. I was like, oh
yeah,
no.
This match. It was unfortunate for Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, because they had some pretty good matches the last two outings, and this match just was snooze fest.
Sure.
Next.
Yeah. What you got? Cheese?
I won't say that this was a bad match. I watched all of it. It was an okay match. It wasn't It wasn't an extremely memorable match, and I think it's for so many. It's because these teams are very hodgepodge. Maybe not so much Indy and Candice, right? Because I know that they have their background.
Yeah.
But Piper and Chelsea just don't match at all. They just don't make any sense
Yeah.
whatsoever. And
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say this, but Piper needs to find her niche in wrestling. I almost feel like how they kind of have like Bronson Reed versus Ivar. Why doesn't like they do like Piper versus Nia Jax? Like something like that where it's like Clash of the Titanesses or something to where she can kind of show up. But
Build her
I
really
think
strong.
yeah, they're
Right?
both really strong.
Right?
They can do their strong style type of women's wrestling, and I think people might go for that, right? Because we don't typically see like these really big, strong women in wrestling, so that might be something that could be good. But as long as Piper doesn't open her mouth and doesn't say anything for promos, she's never gonna do like she's a. When we talk about jobbers in a bad sense, I feel like Piper would be a jobber because she probably would do a match here and there and then be out of the scene and go to like a different place where she's going to do a few matches over there and be out of the scene again. And that's what, we consider those to be traveling jobbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that Piper has what it takes right now to be on the main roster. I think Chelsea Green might. I want to see her in singles competition. I 100% agree with you guys. They need to break up this tag team. It is a hodgepodge from hell, and they need to break it apart.
Mm-hmm.
They need to give Chelsea some room to run in the singles area.
Mm-hmm.
And just I will say this one thing though. I didn't even notice that Candice LeRae and Indy's music changed at all. I guess that's just on me. I guess I wasn't even familiar
you're
with
fine.
them enough
You're
to
fine.
even know, right? They had,
You don't see a lot of them, but
exactly, right? So I'm not even familiar with their music to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But when was it that like tag teams don't even like dress the same anymore? Like I'm like, you get like they just don't match. When I was looking
Yeah.
at them, like Candice looks very different from Indy, and I was like, when Alpha Academy comes out, they are all in the same kind of style, right?
Even
You got
DIY.
AOP.
Even DIY had new looking gear. I mean, they used it last week, but they have good matching gear together
matches.
now. Yeah,
It's like synchronized gear to signify we are a tag team.
correct.
But you have so many of these hodgepodge teams that are like they don't look anything alike. They just look like two superstars coming down, and they're not true tag teams. And Indy and Candice are a true tag team, and they have perfected their art and their teamwork. I do feel like they should at least dress alike. Like I don't know, it kind of just puts a damper, I think, a little bit on what I feel like is signature to tag team wrestling. Because when you even like I said, AOP, right? Like they almost look like twins sometimes, right? Like Street Profits, right? They look very similar to each other.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
And that's what you're supposed to do, right? It's supposed to be like that. So Kabuki Warriors, right? They dress the same.
That's the beauty of tag teams. You look the part. You work as a team. You look as a team. You work as a team, and that's the whole point. All the pomp and circumstance that comes with tag teams. That's what you do, right? When you don't, and when you wear different things, and you have individual characteristics, then you're just a hodgepodge group. Like you're not a true tag team.
Yeah, break this team up already. Give Chelsea a few matches to some of the other deserving women, and I think we'll watch. I think that we'll be interested in seeing what they can do, and let her work her way through the roster. And if she does good work, give her a title shot, right? Give her a match with Becky. Give her a program with Nia. Give her something, right? So that way she can. It can matter.
That way she can do something.
Something with her.
Different.
But something else.
Because she's got something. She's got something there, and I don't think it works in this tag team thing. I think it's gone long enough, and I think it's time to give her own little run. However far you want to take it, I think she's better suited just maybe on her own at this point. Let her do something else. But either way, maybe this is a way to go there because they didn't win tonight. So now they're on a big time losing streak now. So maybe this is where it ends, and maybe this is where in next week or by the Royal Rumble time, we get that kind of breakup of this group or whatever when we get there. Maybe Chelsea Green is the one that accidentally or something eliminates Piper from the Rumble match, and that starts their kind of drop there. I think she has the potential, although I think they would probably end up going singles heel with her. But I think she could have the potential of being a face, like on the same like kind of level of like the R-Truth kind of face, like just real funny, like you have your back kind of thing. But I guess we'll see where it goes. Either way, I'm with you guys. They have to do something with her in the singles. I think that's where she's better suited now at this point. We'll see where it goes from there. But so we get into our second in-ring segment of the night, which is the return of the ring general Gunther, who is back from maternity leave. And so, or paternal, right?
Maternity leave, damn.
I mean, he just had a baby.
Paternity.
So paternity, excuse me. Yes, he just had a baby. You know, congratulations to old Gunther there on his beautiful baby girl, and he got to spend a couple of weeks with her during the holidays and whatnot. And now he's coming back to work to tell us all that he will be in the Royal Rumble match, and looking good as always is Ludwig Kaiser right next to him. Looking strong, looking mean after last week's total dismantling of Kofi Kingston on the stairs. And Kofi Kingston was confirmed dead this week. He'll be was confirmed brain dead this week. He'll be out for a few more weeks here, as it was announced on there. But Gunther got half of the way into his segment, pretty much to let us know he'll be in the Rumble and that he'll be winning the Rumble and going to WrestleMania and all that good stuff. Didn't really say anything much about potential contenders coming for the Intercontinental Championship next. But because we get the return of Xavier Woods, who we've been asking about for the last couple of weeks, as to where the hell has Xavier Woods been? Well, here he is. When Kofi Kingston goes out, Xavier Woods comes back in. So, and he's looking very, very mean, very, very angry, as you know, for Ludwig taking out his friend, which then leads. No, he's not. Jeez. Which then leads to Ludwig Kaiser actually getting the mic from Gunther, who hands him the mic and tells him he can talk a little bit. And Ludwig Kaiser, dude, I'm telling you guys, like we said last week, I like this Ludwig Kaiser, man. I like the vicious Ludwig and the lots and lots of confidence with this guy. I love this for him. And it leads to a little brawl, or it leads to a match first. Then we get the brawl, and then we get in the actual ringing of the match. Vintage Ludwig Kaiser is just my favorite thing right now. One of my favorite things on this show. It just looks so much better than what he did maybe 3 weeks ago, when it looked like they were getting ready to break up the whole group, and he just was starting to get kind of lost in the shuffle of everything, was looking kind of weak, they were trying to make him the weak link, and 3 weeks later, he's one of the strongest links of this entire group. We have a pretty good little match between Ludwig Kaiser and Xavier Woods. They, excuse me, Ludwig Kaiser actually wins by DQ when Xavier Woods does the opposite of what Ludwig Kaiser did last week, so he does it right back to him, hits him with that rolling chair, man. That something's got to give with that rolling chair, man. The rolling chair is the best weapon in the game this year so far. So Ludwig wins with DQ once again. The important parts of this whole thing was what happens afterwards in this match, where it looks like Ludwig Kaiser is going to do the same thing to Xavier Woods as he did to Kofi. I did like that little like Van Terminator chair spot from Ludwig to Xavier Woods. That was a pretty sick looking Van Terminator spot. It looks like he literally did hit his head on that chair off of that spot. And just when it looks like we're gonna get another head smashing, Xavier Woods counters and has what I feel like, although I wasn't really necessarily sure about how I felt about the ending, I thought it was a funny thing to see Xavier Woods with the stairs, like, and just throw the stairs over. I thought that was just kind of funny looking. It looked hilarious with his crazy ass hair and everything that he has. But he sends Ludwig Kaiser running into the crowd, scares him off, and that's where we end the segment. And I feel like I could have gone maybe with another strong, like, I could have gone with another strong ending for, I just take them all out, right? And that's not what we got tonight. and I guess we're just gonna keep this New Day and Imperium thing going for a little bit longer. But I do like Ludwig Kaiser, this new Ludwig Kaiser, and I hope they continue to go on with that. What do you got on this Tribal Chief? I don't know if you saw last week's stuff with Ludwig, but that was
Yeah.
dirty, and I liked. Did you like how they presented him a week later?
Yeah, Ludwig Kaiser, man. These are the guys that I'm talking about that I'm excited to watch week to week, and they got the young bodies. They can get out there and do the work. And I will say this too: don't sleep on Xavier Woods because the man can wrestle still, and he's got some really good promo work. I mean, I really, really like the way he came out and he called out, like, "Hey, you hurt my friend. Like, I want a piece of you." And so I thought and Xavier Woods looking kind of burly lately. Like he looks a little big. I mean, he looks like he put a little bit of fat on in the midsection, but he
did,
definitely
yeah.
looked a lot more burly than before. And I thought he worked a really good match too. So really, really good stuff. I know that he lost after he threw the ergonomic rolling chair. I was like, shit, man. We changed chair shots have a whole different meaning in 2024. We have to make them ergonomic now. But yeah, I mean, he's still good. So I think that the reason that the ending, what I was hoping was that this was foreshadowing a Big E return, right? Like that's what I was hoping that this was foreshadowing. Like just like you said, like I thought it was like I'm gonna hurt Kofi, then I'm gonna hurt Xavier, and then after that I'm waiting for that Big E return, and then I was thinking that could kind of set up Big E with Gunther for like a title, but we still don't. Obviously, based off the way that ended, I don't think that Big E is in any space to return.
No.
It just doesn't feel right because crazy Xavier Woods was standing at the end of that with all that blood in his mouth and his hair looking like just super crazy.
Yeah.
I'd never seen him look so freaking weird before. And I don't know, he looks strong to me. But I will say that the reason I feel like that didn't work out, it was because it's doing what I called a couple weeks ago. It's setting up Jey Uso to get into this storyline, which is going to get into the Gunther, because guess who protects Xavier Woods in the backstage from Ludwig Kaiser, right? Like, it's Jey freaking Uso, right?
It's our second week in a row of backstage Jey Uso.
Backstage Jey Uso. So there you go.
No show, Jey Uso.
So, yeah, I mean, that's where we're going. I think that this is what's happening. I think that we are going to get Jey Uso involved in the storyline, and there's your next opponent he's probably going to run through Kaiser, and then after that, it's going to be Gunther's opponent. But I will say we didn't talk about one little thing, right? And there's something for us to consider. We have the four, right? The four people that we thought are going to CM Punk. You got Cody Rhodes. You got Drew McIntyre. You got Gunther in there. You cannot dismiss Gunther as a potential winner for the Royal Rumble. You just can't do it because the man was second to the last time, right? So it is a very real possibility that Gunther can win this and goes on to become a double champ or something like that, right? Like holding, maybe he challenges Seth, and it's I don't know, who knows, but it's a double. I mean, I think everybody's clamoring to see Gunther versus Roman, but yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways that they can go with this story. It's just really good to see. You don't need to have Gunther in the ring. You can have Kaiser in his place, and we still love it. It was still a good match, and give Xavier Woods some time. Give him some work. I thought it was a good match.
Sure. I mean, I'm with you there. I do think that Gunther is one of those guys that can easily win this thing. And that's one of the beauties of this year's Royal Rumble is that there's not a surefire winner here. Like, I can't sit here and say for sure CM Punk is winning this. For sure Cody Rhodes is winning this. For sure Drew McIntyre is winning this. For sure. I can't say. Either one of these guys could win it. And it would make sense, right? So I think that's going to be the really, really cool thing about this. I think this is why this is going to be setting up to be one of the best Rumbles that we've seen in quite some time, because there's not a for sure like winner that you can see, and we're already less than 2 weeks out. So that's pretty good stuff. Like, I'm all here for it. And then I'm all here for Ludwig Kaiser continuing to get a push as well. If this does end up leading to possibly Big E coming back at some point, I'd be very happy. But I'm with you there, where I guess we just won't know until we see it, because he's got to be safe. You got to be 100% safe with that guy. If there's any chance of any further harm, I don't want to see Big E back in this ring. I love the guy, but I need to know that he's not. We're not going to see the end of someone's life or career, or something if he comes back. But we'll see how it goes. But either way, like you said, then we get backstage Jey Uso for the second week in a row, and that's all you get.
Hold on 1 second. Natalia just came on, so I'm gonna take a bathroom break. While Zero talks about backstage Jey Uso.
Oh yeah, go ahead. What you got, Mr. Zero, on this match? Did you talk about the? Yeah, you haven't talked about this match yet. Go ahead, talk about this match and backstage Jey Uso.
Let me tell you something, Johnny T. And it's very unfortunate for Giovanni Vinci that it took him getting injured for Ludwig Kaiser to get a big push in WWE. But man, am I loving this super heel Ludwig Kaiser? Xavier Woods comes out, and I'm way 180 on how I feel about Xavier Woods compared to the Tribal Cheese. He comes out, he's 5'2", hair like Whoopi, and then 180 pounds. Ain't nobody scared of him.
I wasn't going to say it. I was thinking it, but I wasn't going to say it. But you said it for me. I'm like, oh my goodness.
He was the weak link in the New Day when Big E and Kofi were there. If anybody should have took a shot to the head, it should have been Xavier Woods, not Kofi. But I'll give him this. At least he came out in some New Day wrestling attire. But Xavier Woods gets backstage, and they're kind of interviewing, and he's kind of coming off as why do you think I'm mad? Why do you think and then goes and gets his ass kicked again. I loved it. I wanted it to go a little longer, but the newest member of New Day, Jey Uso, shows up and kind of stops it, I guess. But what the hell was he last week when Kofi was getting his head stomped in, in street clothes? But ain't nobody scared of Xavier Woods. But I will agree. I do hope that this is leading up to a big return for Big E.
Let's all hope so, man, because I'd love to see it. But we get into our fourth match of the night, which is not a super heavyweight versus a super heavyweight, but one of the best super heavyweights on the roster today. Ivar versus the super heavyweight Akira Tozawa. Yeah, so we did have a super heavyweight versus super heavyweight match, and this was all set up from last week's match between Ivar and Otis, where at the end of the match Tozawa steps up to Ivar. So now we're gonna get this match, and you would think we talked about it. We talked about it a little bit last week too, that Ivar is going through the gauntlet of the Alpha Academy. So, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. But in this match, I just continue to say that Ivar is also one of my favorite things on Monday Night Raw right now. He continues to make himself look extremely well in the singles run that he's on. Akira Tozawa, for all he is also pretty funny and pretty cool and pretty good. I did like the tearing of the shirt spot where he was kind of struggling for a little bit to tear the shirt open, and then he finally ripped it all the way just to get his ass beat really quick. And however, though, the outcome is not what I expected. The outcome ends up being where it looks like we're about to get the Doom Salt when Maxine Dupree goes on the apron and shakes her little ass in front of him, and that's what she did. And so
I had to look away, man. I had to look away.
She shakes her little ass in front of him, and he paid attention.
I I missed that part too.
He paid it.
His wife was gonna kill him too.
Man, trying to throw these guys under the bus here. Their wives were watching, and they did not take they did not take the cheese on that one. I was trying to bait them into that one, but hey, she really did. Ivar did not look away. He looked, and so he looked, and that's what got him distracted enough for Tozawa to hit the top rope power bomb into a pin for the win. Akira Tozawa wins the match here, but then it's what happens afterwards. That's the big part. You know, a post match beatdown from Valhalla to Maxine Dupree, which then leads to Akira Tozawa getting beat up by Ivar, and leads to the Doom Salt, which is one of the best looking moonsaults in the game right now. It's a good looking move, and so we're gonna go from there, into getting Chad Gable versus Ivar next week on Monday Night Raw. They had a little backstage segment where we saw the return of the Creed brothers. There they are after their unfortunate loss a couple of weeks ago. They haven't been on TV since, and they were on TV for all of about 10 seconds before Ivy Nile comes into the frame, and really, really awkwardly, I thought, to just say...
I'm glad you called it out.
Really, really awkwardly comes into the frame to announce that she'll be taking care of Valhalla next week. So another 2 matches made for next week in that segment, as we'll get Ivy Nile's return to the ring versus Valhalla. So, yep, that's what that was. It was fun, a fun little match. Ivar continues to be one of the best things, but Tozawa gets the win here. How about that? What do you got on that, Zero?
Yeah, I was really surprised by this, Johnny T. You know, when I saw that Tozawa was going to be taking on Ivar again, because we had already got this match a couple weeks ago.
Oh, we did too.
Yeah. So to see it again, it was a little surprising. I really thought we were going to see Ivar versus the Alpha himself.
Excuse me,
Chad Gable, but we didn't get that, and you know, it was kind of I guess reminiscent of the Attitude Era, the way the match finished, you know, with a little distraction on the ropes, and you know, Tozawa gets the sunset flip from the top rope, 1, 2, 3.
I thought you didn't see it.
I always get kind of nervous when I see the sunset flip from the top rope, because you know, I just think of Seth Rollins when he hurt his knee, and you know, I get a little bit of goosebumps every time anybody does it. But yeah, it was a funny finish. And then after the match, Alpha Academy gets their ass whooped by Ivar and Valhalla. So I'll be looking forward to seeing what the Alpha leader himself can do next week.
I bet you got goosebumps from that a ring apron spot. But what you got on that, Tribal Cheese?
All I can say is we got to win. Alpha Academy got to win, right?
Yeah.
Tozawa got to win, and that's all that matters in the WL call. So technically, Tozawa and Ivar are 1-1.
1-1, man. They gotta run it back again.
They gotta run it back, and this time,
God.
you know, we're gonna see who the actual best of them is.
The best super heavyweight is, yeah.
Dude, great match, right? All the way around.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed everything. Call it for what it is, shenanigans, whatever. I just enjoyed the storytelling. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care as long as there's storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really, really gonna set up Maxine versus Valhalla, but for some reason, Ivy Nile just inserts herself, and I'm like, well, what does this mean? I actually wanted to see Maxine wrestle again, but against somebody that is organically kind of created. Like, Valhalla just attacked me, right? I'm gonna kick her ass now, because, you know, like, that's what we do. We got Valhalla, you know, we got this whole faction versus this faction. What the hell is, you know, what are the Creed Brothers faction got anything to do with this?
Yeah.
I mean, they better just come under the umbrella of Master Gable, right? I think at this point they should just all be under Master Gable.
Yeah,
and he's the head of the head of the tippy top of the mountain. But I really, really liked it all the way around. Well, let me see. So next week, right? We have Gable versus Ivar. Actually, dude, we need to rename this like finisher, bro. Like I know it's called the Doom Salt, but we gotta add something to it. We gotta call it the Doom Salt from Hell, because that's what it looks like when it lands on your ass. Dude. Portazawa is like 120 pounds soaking wet, and he took the full brunt of that shit, dude. I was like, oh my god! And Ivar,
he hits that thing. He hits that thing clean too.
Yep, he hits it clean, and it lands with a good amount of force on it. It is not one of those powder puff like
not at all.
One of them crossbodies or some bullshit, right?
Not at all. He hits that. He hits that with some impact.
Yeah. So Portazawa, he's gonna be nursing his pectoral muscles tonight. Yep. But yeah, I mean, final match, right? Gable versus Ivar. I don't even care who wins, because I know it's gonna be good, but I'm excited to see more of Ivar. Like at this point, dude, I'm fucking sold with Ivar, man. Like he is endlessly entertaining. I think that their entrance where like the boat floats through in the 3D is super cool. It's really a shame that the Viking Raiders, their name fucking sucks, but it's really a shame that like they aren't able to be part of the tag team scene right now. But Ivar is killing it on his own, yep. and if his partner is any sort of indication of what or any kind of reflection of what Ivar can do in the ring, I need to watch them more closely going into the future. Early prediction, I'm gonna guess that Ivar picks up this win. I'm gonna say he runs through the entire Alpha Academy, and I was more interested in Maxine versus Valhalla. I guess right now Ivy Nile could use a win, so I'm gonna go with that one. So there's my predictions.
Yeah. So we'll get a little bit of this where we'll just kind of go away from the camera and be like, "Hey, I'm Ivy Nile. I'm gonna fight in that match next week." Knocked off my green screen, but I'm Ivy Nile. Shit. You get to see behind the scenes there for a minute, guys. But that's what it was, man. It was just kind of freaky. It's like she was just waiting there on the other side of the camera, and then they said, "And now, pop into the screen real quick." I was like, "Holy shit! Okay, there's Ivy Nile.
Correct.
She's
back.
Skills
aren't there yet.
Like she's back. All right, she's there. There she is. But yeah, we'll see how it goes next week with those two matches. But Ivar is one of my favorite things to watch right now, just because the guy moves like he's not, 300 pounds. He moves like he's 150 pounds, and it just looks good. It looks fun. So we go from that.
I'm sure he didn't land up to Zawa like he was 150 pounds.
Yeah, dude, that's good. Bad, bro.
I should feel good, man. But that guy, like he wanted to doom salt something else tonight, and but he didn't.
That's a woman.
I mean, he got his Viking instincts kicked in on that one. It cost him the match, so we'll see. Don't blame the guy. Whew. Anyways, we go. So speaking of really, really attractive women, we go to our next segment, which is Rhea Ripley coming to the ring and doing a promo. And this is where we're headed. I mean, this is our confirmation of that, right? Because Rhea Ripley comes out to give her promo where I think she's about to, she's kind of leaning into talking more about Nia Jax a little bit. And I thought this is where Nia Jax comes out. But we didn't get that. Instead, we got Becky Lynch, who comes out to give her promo, and it's exactly what I thought they were gonna do with Becky at this point. Becky's down. She's not feeling too awesome about herself. She's looking to build herself back up. She feels like an underdog. This promo kind of made you feel like she was feeling the heat of that, basically telling Rhea that you're better than me right now, right? But maybe getting to the Rumble and winning the Rumble would be her chance to maybe pick herself back up and get back to the top. So I guess we're headed towards Becky and Rhea at WrestleMania. No appearance from Nia Jax since she wasn't on the show today this week. So I guess we'll see where they go with that. But yeah, it's kind of what I thought was going to happen, and this was our first confirmation that I think that's where we're headed. But yeah, Becky Lynch all of a sudden feels like the underdog, and Mommy let her know it. Mommy definitely let her know it, that's for sure. And this is Mommy's house until somebody takes it away from her. That's pretty much what this was all about. I don't know what y'all got anything on this one. Pretty basic stuff here, more or less. I don't know if there was anything super memorial about this one.
Let me tell you something, Johnny T. The sexualization of women in the WWE is absolutely disgusting.
Mommy did look fantastic tonight.
I'll tell you this. This promo by Becky Lynch is what the WWE uses as misdirection, because I'll tell you right now, Nia Jax is going to be the one at the end of the Royal Rumble with her hand raised.
Bold prediction. What you got, Cheese?
So we didn't get Nia tonight, right? But we did get her video package.
True,
and
correct.
They are building her up strong. And I'm just thinking this, right? Like WWE needs some more like seriously competitive women out there. And I know for a while Nia Jax is kind of in that like Paul White space where I'm just big and I'm not really to be taken that serious. I'm just a big person. And then right? So like he comes into the Rumble, they just all gang up on him, throw him out. It's kind of like the same theme with big people. I'm kind of with Zero on this one. I think that it's not going to be Becky to win the Rumble. I think she might scrap her way into it in Elimination Chamber, but I'm thinking this might be Nia Jax's year. Like when I think about that, like you can solidify her as like one of the top women finally, right? And really add a new female competitor up there on the level of Charlotte, Bayley, Becky Lynch, Bianca, right? Like all these, we need another one, right? So I do think that it kind of makes sense though for Becky to fight Rhea, right? But it just doesn't make sense with like, well, she just took a bunch of L's, or she took the L from Nia. She looked really weak. And I don't know if, I mean, I honestly think that if you put a program together with Becky and Rhea's going to win that match at WrestleMania. So yeah, I mean, neither here nor there. I think that there's more here than meets the eye. Part of me also thinks that maybe neither one of these women win it, and it's like some surprise entrant from outside of the company that we haven't heard of. Who knows? There's still rumors out there of what could happen. So,
I still think, to feed off on that I still think the direction for the women's Rumble is Bayley. That's just me.
She just lost.
That's fine. That's okay. The Rumble changes a lot of things for everyone, doesn't it?
Trinity's coming back too.
Who?
Trinity's coming back too.
Oh yeah, Naomi. Yeah, but I don't think she wins it. She'll probably come back in the Rumble match, but I don't think she wins it. I think you're headed towards Bayley winning this Rumble so that you can set up that EO versus Bayley match.
I thought Trinity signed.
Huh?
I thought Trinity had signed, and I thought that she just was on a show, and Sasha and Bayley was watching her in the crowd. You guys not?
No, she had her last match at Impact this past weekend. She lost her Knockouts Women's title, which would pretty much indicate. And then of course afterwards she waved it with like a pretty good little goodbye to the fans. So the rumors are probably going to be true that she's coming back to WWE. They've been pursuing her pretty heavily, and I think they got one of the two pieces they wanted. I think they would have liked to have had both of them, but one of them thinks she's on the level of like Charlotte Flair and thinks she can demand that kind of money. And so I don't agree with that. I think that's a little bit too much for that person. So let her go wherever she wants to go then. But Naomi coming back, I think that's a good one. I think that's a good signing, and that's someone that can help bolster your women's roster wherever you want to put her. It would have been fine with it. I'm not saying I didn't want them to sign Mercedes, but if that's what Mercedes is gonna demand, okay, then go get it wherever you can get it. Then, if WWE doesn't want to pay it, then they don't want to pay it. It's fine. They've been fine.
Yeah.
They've been fine without her for almost 2 years. They'll be fine without her going forward. I guess
Well, are they like honestly like the tag team division went to shit right after
It,
Trinity
it
and
was already shit.
Sasha Banks
It was already.
left?
That's why they left because it was shit already. So they weren't doing anything with them anyways. That's a different regime, though. I mean, maybe it would be different now. But if she's gonna ask for that much, and I mean, I don't blame them if they don't feel like they want to commit to that, especially if over the past 5 to 6 years they've tried to commit to her and she's been uncommittal and she's stepped out once and then she stepped out again. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I can see the reluctance of not wanting to commit so much to her if they're not sure if she's gonna be really in it or not. So I don't know, whatever. But getting one of those two back, I think it's still a win. I think it's still good. I think it'll be good when if she debuts, if she returns at the Rumble, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of neat. But as far as the women's division is concerned, I think you are both onto something about Becky probably not winning the Rumble. If it's not Jax, that'd be very interesting. But I do think we're headed towards Bailey winning this thing for some reason. But I just feel like that's where they're headed. But what I will say about the Rhea thing too is that she hasn't defended her title since Ivy Nile. She'll probably defend it once before WrestleMania, and it just so happens that Elimination Chamber is in Perth, Australia, and who's from that area, who's born and raised in that area. Well, that would be Miss Rhea Ripley herself. So if you're going to have a championship match for Rhea at Elimination Chamber, I guess maybe that's where you do the women's Elimination Chamber. Maybe you do a women's heavyweight title one there, or if you do a one-on-one, then maybe that's where you do her and Nia Jax or her and Becky. I guess there in front of all her home fans, right? You could easily do one of those two matches there, and then still have a place, for either Becky or a triple threat maybe at. We like to throw out that triple threat thing a lot, but I feel like we're headed for at least one or two of those kinds of matches at WrestleMania. But we'll see where they go with Rhea. But yeah, this promo was pretty much to set up just more Rumble intrigue and see where we go and what we're going to get at some point between those women and whatnot, and where Nia Jax fits into that. I guess we're going to find out in less than 2 weeks, right? Less than 2 weeks at the Royal Rumble. So then we get into our fifth match of the night, and this was our fun, just lots of fun. Awesome Truth versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest. And oh man, when the Judgment Day, when I saw that The Miz came out by himself, I didn't see R-Truth come out. I was like, is he gonna come out with the Judgment Day? Like, are they all gonna come out together? And the first thing that I saw that I just laughed my ass off about was that AR. I don't know about y'all. I absolutely hate those AR image thingies that they have. I get it. You're getting with the times. You're doing something different. You're trying to be really super like new age, but they look stupid. They look dumb.
You're talking about the Lord of the Rings, like the Lord of the Rings sword guys?
I'm not just talking about theirs. I'm talking about everyone's. Those AR things that only we can see on TV. We can't see them if we're there. That's what they are.
I just said I liked Ivar's like boat, that 3D one, the AR thing that's like going
fine.
through the
I mean,
stadium.
it's fine. I don't really like them, but to each their own on that. I think they're kind of funky looking half the time. But this one though made me laugh my ass off because for the first time we get the little druids, right, But then we get the floating R-Truth druid right next to him, who doesn't have a hoodie. Who doesn't have a hoodie on. It's like his face with the live, love, laugh thing on there.
I gotta go back and see it. I missed it,
dude. It made me pop, dude. It was hilarious because I was thinking because as soon as I saw the little druid things, I was like, please tell me they're gonna add like an R-Truth one or something. Like there's gonna be like a fifth one there, and it was R-Truth. And it looks so bad, but funny bad, like again a good way. And then he comes out like about 10 feet behind them to walk out with them when they don't. It's like they don't even know that he's there until he's there. Oh my god, what Miz looking so confused as to what the hell R-Truth is doing before. Of course, before this match took place, remember Damian Priest did tell R-Truth he was not going to tag in for this match. He was going, but he didn't to start off. He actually started off this match, which is completely different, where all his cash comes out from the rest of everybody's cuts. He piles up all the real looking $100 bills that came out of his pocket, and proceeds to hand Finn Balor his cut. Gives Tom his cut, but does not have any money left for JD, who he says he's not part of Judgment Day, so that's why he doesn't get a cut of the money. His name's not on the T-shirt. He doesn't get a cut. The match itself, funny, good little tag team match there. A lot of good typical offense from Finn Balor, Damian Priest. We got one commercial break in between this whole thing. R-Truth just competing, very confused, doesn't know exactly which way to go here, left or right, hitting people by accident with the hitting Finn Balor by accident with the scissor kick. Just looks very conflicted throughout the whole entire thing until Damian Priest has had enough and decides to hit him with South to Heaven for the win. 1, 2, 3. Judgment Day wins this match against the Awesome Truth. And this could be where all good things come to an end. And maybe this is the unfortunate beginning of the end of this entire thing, which we all love so very much. Hopefully not. But, man, I hope they don't end this thing. I hope next week we do it again, like we do something else. We continue this next week. But Damian Priest, though, like to your credit, Mr. Zero, he's kind of being billed here as the guy that he was very reluctant to do that South to Heaven and looked very he didn't want to do it, but he kind of had to. And he's coming on to the idea of R-Truth. He's kind of been the one that's kept him around, honestly, while nobody else has really wanted him around. He keeps bringing him around and just tells him, okay, fine, sure. Hopefully we're not towards the end of this thing. Hopefully we keep going. Hopefully this goes all the way to WrestleMania and we do something there. That's what I want to see. But we'll see where it goes. What you got on this, Cheese? On this Awesome Truth match?
Well, first thing, I gotta go back and watch the damn entrance because I want to see that. I want to see that AR shit. I'm like, damn it! I can't believe I must have looked away or went to go step out or grab something to drink or something.
It was hilarious.
Like,
it was funny.
But I did catch R-Truth being like a little creepy Joe, just walking in the back, and he's just back there, and I'm like, bro, I started laughing because I'm like, oh my god, he's coming out with Judgment Day. And nobody knows he's back there, so they're all doing their normal, routine, and he's just in the back, like 10, 15 feet behind them, so they don't get mad at him. He manages to get in every single still or every single pose. He's in the back, doing his thing as well. Yeah, he's raising his hands like he's part of the Judgment Day. I mean, good stuff. I do think that the beginning was I thought the whole don't tag in thing meant absolutely fucking nothing.
Eventually, it did.
I don't even know what was the point of it, because he started the match and I thought he was gonna be like, oh yeah, I didn't tag in, I just started the match, I never tagged in, like something like that, like you told me not to tag in, so I started. I thought it was going to be like that, but then he got out and he tagged back in, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess this shit doesn't matter at all. So that kind of was like, I didn't really understand that whole part. The match itself was okay, like lukewarm. I
Yeah.
think just because of the confusion of like we are wrestling
Mm-hmm.
and I'm doing my moves to you, but I don't know if I'm supposed to do them like to you because you're part of my team. He laid into JD though. That was pretty cool. Because he's not part of the Judgment Day. He's been out for a while. So I would say the match was. I would say, and then the Miz, man, like, damn, dude, this dude can wrestle, man. Like, I'm like, what the hell? The Miz is like, he's like getting better with age, man. I swear, he does some moves that they're just underrated in this business, and they're a high degree of technical difficulty, and he pulls them off pretty easily. You don't even if you don't pay attention to him, you'll miss them. Like some of the moves that he pulls out, and he has a repertoire now. He has a ton of moves that he's able to use. So I really do enjoy that. So yeah, you get to the ending. Damn, dude, like it does look like Damian Priest, like just like regrets, like having to like end this shit. I don't know if it's because he's like, I really do like R-Truth, or because he's like, damn, we're about to like lose R-Truth and we ain't gonna be shit after this. So I don't know. I don't know because yeah, like R-Truth is good for the Judgment Day, but there is only so much you can do before it starts to get a little old. Case in point, the only part that I thought fell flat was like the fake money. And I was like, bro, why the fuck didn't y'all just use real money? Like, why not? Like, I don't you fucking use real money in the back. Like, just use the same bills and shit. We can clearly tell that shit is fake. And that just takes away from our truth. So they should have just gave him real fucking money just to be like, yeah, it was silly shit in the background. So, I was just like, yeah, I'll give him real money in the back. He should have just brought the same out. I don't know if it must have been like a company policy or something. Don't do that. The crowd will jump in the ring and start taking it.
Someone's going to jump in and be like, give me that shit. Safety. Give me that money.
Sounds like some shit Vince McMahon would say, don't do it.
Times are tough.
For safety. Yeah.
Times are tough.
For your safety. This is Little Rock, Arkansas. You don't know what these people will do out here. So, yeah, I mean, overall, good match.
Yeah.
Not the greatest. Not the greatest match.
Mm-hmm.
And even towards the end, when he got the South of Heaven and stuff, I think I've even found myself saying like, all right, maybe this is enough now because it's not making sense anymore. I think like that was my thing. Is like some of this shit didn't make sense, right? Don't tag in, although this match kind of didn't make sense. So yeah, I was like, maybe it's time for, but I really don't want to see R-Truth go to like nothing again, like obscurity. But I don't know. Maybe this is where creative is gonna drop it off. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on this last match.
Yeah. I hope not, because I do think that there's still some meat on the bone on this thing, and I hope that they just continue to do. Now I don't know if it needs to go like super long, but well, that's the thing that we ask all the time, right? Is that we say like, well, where are they going to go with this next week, or where are they going to go and then they just continue to surprise us into something different, into something new, into something more. I think that where we could go is like where Mr. Zero was saying, is that maybe you do like a double a turn here at some point for one of the guys in Judgment Day. To just spice things up a little bit with that group, because after their loss at Survivor Series, I wondered how long this group was even going to be long to stay together at this point, because that's a hard loss to take and to come back from. But this whole entire thing has injected this whole new type of attention and energy into this group again, where everybody wants to see it. I mean, they were the most used thing throughout the entire show for a good reason, for an entertainment reason. Like that could easily be where we're heading with this whole thing. Just be entertaining on this whole thing. So it'll be interesting. I hope they don't. If they do, it is what it is. If they do end it and that's it, it's done, then okay, it was fun. But if they do continue to go with it, I think they still can do some different things here. with it. I mean, it's making them money. I'll tell you this: WWE loves making money, and if something's making them money, they'll continue to go with it as long as they can hold it. And so, it's making them money right now. It's making them a lot of money. So hopefully, we'll see how it goes. We'll see what else they can do with it, and maybe Damian Priest does eventually come completely around on this guy. I don't know. We'll see. But what do you got, Mr. Zero?
Yeah, man. Let me tell you something. R-Truth, man. I thought he was gonna pay his way into to Judgment Day today. You know what I mean? He pulls out the fake dollar bills, and it seemed like everybody was all happy except for the only person that Truth says is not part of Judgment Day, JD himself. But we get a kind of a weird match. I kind of was expecting, at some point for R-Truth to be like, "I'm sorry, Miz, I can't. I'm with the Judgment Day." You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I was just supposed to start the match. I'm not supposed to tag in afterwards or something. You know what I mean? And then, or I thought when maybe he tagged in, I thought he tagged Finn Balor, and I was like, okay, he's gonna start, hitting the Miz, and then there's gonna be this big old, jumping of the Miz type of thing, and R-Truth's gonna be in there. But man, you look at Damian Priest before he delivers the South of Heaven, and it's almost like he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? I thought you were one of us." And then I don't know. I guess Truth's instincts kicked in when Finn Balor grabbed him. He maybe he thought it was someone else. He might have thought it was the Miz, and he kind of just instincts kicked in, and he hits him with a move, and then Damian Priest is like, "Well, that's it, man. I can't help you out no more."
Your lifelines are over.
But I don't know. It kind of seems like this storyline was just maybe made for to get to the Royal Rumble from Survivor Series, and maybe they're kind of working on what they're gonna do with R-Truth next. So we'll stay tuned next week. We're gonna see what they're gonna do. If it continues, I'm gonna love it. If it ends, then damn the Judgment Day.
Damn them, man. Although it would be really funny. I don't think they do it, but it'd be really funny if they just created like two Judgment Days, like the R-Truth Judgment Day and the other Judgment, like the real Judgment Day and the fake Judgment Day. Like I said, there's different things you could do with this. You really, really can if you wanted to, and it'll be interesting to see if they do continue with it.
I really think that they should have just let R-Truth join the freaking Judgment Day at this point, right? Like what Zero said, which is R-Truth kind of heel turns on Miz, and then Damian Priest says, "You're in front of everybody," right? And he's like, he says, "You're in," and like now there's meat on the bone because now we know like every week because what do we go from here? That's the hard part. R-Truth has got his butt kicked. And
exactly.
He can't go after JD because he's already done JD. He can't do tag matches because he's already done tag matches.
This is the thing. So this is the thing, though, is that's like this has been the whole thing. Like they've been doing everything that they could to show this guy you're not a part of this group. Like stop. We're beating you up. We're doing these different things to you. But he just keeps coming back for more. It's like, sir, can I have another? Because to him, it's like. None of this like really matters. It's like it's not real. Like you're just pretending, Like it's.
You can only do that so many times before.
The thing about it is that yes, but when you give it to the hands of a guy like R-Truth, he can make soup out of a rock. I mean, this guy you give him something and he can make it work for a long time if he wanted to, but. There's just different things I think they can do here. I don't think this thing is completely over. Maybe we are headed towards it being over at some point here, sooner than later. But I think they can do a couple more things here. I mean, it's just so popular. I would be shocked if they just decided to end it already because they wanted to end it. It's just one of the more popular things on this show.
They probably won't end it.
I mean, shit. This is already taken up like almost. 3/4 of our show just talking about this guy and this whole team and everything. It shows you the power of it all. Like, so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it.
What's the problem with putting him in? What's the reluctance in WWE of putting him in? You already got the shirts now. he's already just demonstrated that he's selling the top 2 shirts on the
Well,
on the store. Why not just put
yeah.
him in
Well, as we
and
see,
make him official?
well, as we've seen, like in the recent past, you know, granted they're two different stories and whatnot, but remember you had the whole Sami Zayn thing with the Bloodline at that one point. And I mean, geez, they had that guy doing everything that he could for what seemed like almost an entire year before they let the guy into the damn group officially, right? I mean, probably wasn't a year, but I want to say it was at least like 4 to 6 months of him just trying and trying and trying.
Yeah, but they weren't beating his ass every week.
That's also very, very true. Different type of story. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe you can't stretch it out for 4 to 6 months, but maybe you can stretch it out another month or two, maybe.
Archer's got like 4 beatdowns already, dude, from the Judgment Day.
We'll have to see where they go with it next week. Maybe this is all to really set up a true partnership between R-Truth and Miz again, to give them maybe one more. Maybe they're the ones that end up beating Finn Balor and Damian Priest for the tag team
that
titles,
could be something,
right?
I feel like Damian really likes R-Truth, though, right?
Maybe that's where they end up. Maybe that's where we're headed here, and that would be kind of fun to see it one more time, right? To see R-Truth and the Miz get together, and maybe win those. It keeps R-Truth relevant too. If he wins the tag team titles for a bit, keeps him relevant for a while. But many different directions you can go with this whole thing. All I know is that if you're not going to have him in doing the Judgment Day anymore, have him do something. Give him something to do because he's gold. He's gold with it. So we'll see where it goes from there. I think that was it for Monday Night Raw. Oh, wait. There was one more thing that happened on Monday Night Raw before. And that was Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark versus Natty and Tegan Nox, and it was a match. It sucked. It was not good. I don't know what they're doing there. Shinsuke Nakamura's in the Royal Rumble. That was Monday Night Raw, guys.
That was so stupid, bro. I couldn't stand that they did that vignette for him this time. I was like, you guys already made him lose. Like, nobody's taking this guy serious in this vignette. He's like, I'm changing my sights to something different now because of... Yeah, no, I don't know. It just didn't make too much sense. I was like, okay, nobody takes you serious. You've lost. You're going to the Royal Rumble.
It was just his announcement that he's getting into the Rumble, and both of these things happened at the right time because they were both like whatever. I mean, at the very least, I guess we get another new women's title contender with Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, but whatever. I'm tired of seeing those tag teams in this whole looking thing. It stinks. It's dumb, and it's not worth my time. So yeah, but Monday Night Raw overall was for me. I give this Raw a C because I thought there was some good things here, but it was pretty. I mean, I kind of thought last week was filler. This week was even more of a filler episode as we're just kind of trying to make our way to the Royal Rumble here. I think after the Rumble, then everything will really, really, really heat back up again. But I think we're just kind of trying to get there. That's what these episodes seem to be doing. We're just doing what we can to get there. There's some good things. Not all of it was bad, obviously. But there's a lot of things in here that we're just kind of trying to get to the Royal Rumble to figure out what we're going to do after that. So I gave this one a C. What do you got, Mrs. Zero? What do you give this show? Or if you want to mention anything about that awesome last match, you can, but I don't think we should spend a lot of time on it.
Yeah, I don't care about that last match. And who cares about Shinsuke Nakamura now? You know, I mean, it's Shinsuke see you later. More like. Speaking of see you later, I gave this show a C also. So, yeah, hopefully, you know, I mean, I was gonna say hopefully next week's is better, but based on the matches we already kind of seen, it doesn't look that it's gonna be much better than a C plus. But who knows? Ivar and Chad Gable could surprise me. So let's see. Let's see if they steal the show.
I have that one bookmarked as a potential match of the night for next week because I mean we already know what we get from Chad Gable and we know what we get from Ivar, so that would be kind of fun to watch next week. But what you got, Travel Cheese? What was your grade on this Monday Night Raw show?
Well, look, guys, I got the Dom and JD match versus DIY. I gave that an A. You got the Chelsea Piper, right? Chelsea Piper, that one was pretty bad, so that was a C. But then you got Xavier Woods and we talked to Kaiser, which I thought was a pretty damn good match, right? And then you got Tozawa Ivar, which I thought was a pretty good match. And then you got we're gonna R-Truth. Their match was okay. It wasn't the best match, I would say. You got Jinder and Seth, which was another okay match. I wouldn't say it was bad. It was pretty decent. The only two stinkers again were the women's tag teams. Usually that's where it just keeps happening. I gave this one overall. I think I gave it a B plus because I think it was the matches themselves were good. We got two stinkers on the card, but everything else was pretty good. So, I mean, unless you guys didn't enjoy Tozawa Ivar, you didn't enjoy it. We just talked about you. From what I understand, you guys talked up Kaiser, and you guys loved that. You guys said that the DIY match was amazing. The Seth match was good. R-Truth was good. It was all entertaining. What am I missing here? Why are you guys giving such a low grade? And I'm saying it's a B plus.
I can go ahead and answer that question. It's just nothing really seemed appealing. We had some good matches, like you said, yes, but nothing appealing. You know, we already had Tozawa versus Ivar, so it wasn't kind of like, oh, let's see what they can do again. But and then Kaiser I mean, you know, I I'm not a big Xavier Woods person. Like I said, he's the third best member of Judgment Day, and once they add Jey Uso, he'll be the fourth best member of New Day. I'm sorry, you know, he'll be the fourth best member of New Day. But you know, I mean, yeah, I do love you know, if he dies, Ludwig Kaiser.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, you know, the two stinker matches, the women's tag teams. Unfortunately, you know, the women's tag team is back to being nothing, you know, nothing more than a bathroom break. And yeah, I mean, you got two good matches. You know, Jinder Mahal and Seth Rollins wasn't exactly like, man, I can't wait till the main event. But you know, I mean, it did deliver pretty good. So
yeah, it was. This was. I mean, to me, I'm not saying it was a bad show. A bad show is if I give a show a D, or if I give a show an F. That's a bad show to me. There was nothing worth watching or anything like that, and I would never go back and watch the show if I gave it an F. Or even if I gave it a D, I'd say probably don't go out of your way to watch anything. With the C, it's just kind of in the middle, right? It was in the middle. This was in the middle. In a 3-hour show, there was only about an hour and a half of it that was pretty good.
Yeah, I could go as high as a C plus, but
me too. I mean, if I really wanted to, probably a C plus. Like, I think these shows just need to, like, we're just itching towards the Rumble. Next week's show, of course, we're gonna get Gable versus Ivar. We're gonna get Ivy Now versus Valhalla. We're gonna get Drew McIntyre versus
finally.
Get Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest, and then we also are going to get our first. Well, I don't think it's the first, but it's being billed as a face-to-face between Cody Rhodes and CM Punk next week, as next week is the go home show for the Royal Rumble for Monday Night Raw. So hopefully next week's show will be good. I mean, if it's the same as it was here, that's still okay. That's not bad. I'm not saying the show is bad. Just I think it was in the middle. So when we have grades that are A, B, C, D, F, then I think this is in the middle. So C, I think is good. But like you said, Mr. Zero, I could easily give this a C plus too. Like that's not a bit. I don't know. The main event didn't like blow my head away, and but like I said, it's about an hour and a half of good stuff, an hour and a half of like kind of like you don't need to go out of your way to go back to, like, don't watch the women's matches this week, they weren't that great. Just go back and watch.
That great.
Just go back and watch Ivar and Tozawa specifically at around that that 3 minute mark. Where there's a little bit of apron action going on there. You'll definitely. That's the A part of the show right there. That's the A+A part of the show right there. Grade A for ass. That's what's
Wow.
Oh my god.
Woo! Well, that's it for me, guys. I'm out of here. With that being said, my friends, oh my god, that down there is Mr. Zero. That over there is the Tribal Cheese, and I am the Mean Bean Johnny Cheese. Again with the Johnny Cheese. Good lord, I am the Mean Bean Johnny T.
Bean and cheese. We used to call you bean and cheese.
Jeez.
That's gonna that should be our tag team name. Bean and Cheese.
Bean and tribal cheese.
The Mr. Bean and Cheese. That's our trios. Oh my god, Zero Sugar Bean and Cheese. That's our trios tag team name. Good lord, guys. All right, guys. So we will see you guys next time. Woo! Ass!
Oh, man. Yeah. That was funny.
That was
I gotta
funny.
pee.
That was really, really funny. Oh, shit.